Welcome to this episode of my VA Disability Claim. What we're going to do today is talk about those three elements of service connection. All right, this is the foundation of everything that we do, right? Brought to you as always by Helpful Veteran. That's me, the Helpful Veteran. All right, we give you simple information, we give you helpful information. All right, today we're going to talk about those three elements of service connection. Think of it this way. For every claim that you file, what you're saying is, I have a chronic disability and it was caused by the military, right? Again, I have a chronic disability and it was caused by my military service. All right, that's what you're saying when you file a claim. So you have to prove it. You have to prove that you have a disability. You have to prove that it's chronic. You have to prove that it was caused by the service, right? Those are the three elements. 1, 2, 3, right? Again, keeping it simple, keeping it useful. This process with VA claims can be overwhelming. It can be frustrating, right? It can seem personal. Why are they doing this to me? When you have understanding, it makes everything seem a little less overwhelming. When you understand what it is you're supposed to be focusing on, it makes it all a little less frustrating. So with every claim, focus on the three elements. Do I have the evidence to prove element 1, element 2, and element 3? All right, so what are we talking about with those three elements? Again, that statement, I have a chronic disability and it was caused by the military. So that first element is that it was caused by the That's what we mean when we say in-service event or in-service diagnosis. Most people think I can only file a claim for some kind of injury or something that took place while I was in the service. Not necessarily true. You can file a claim for that too, but you can also file a claim for a diagnosis that you got while you were in the service, right? So let's say you got diagnosed with hypertension while you were in the service. You're out of the service now. It's 15, 20 years later. You're still dealing with hypertension. You can file a claim for that. All right, that's important to know because if you pass from heart problems, your surviving spouse can now get that dependency indemnity compensation. But that's not possible unless you file a claim for that hypertension. All right, so it's an in-service event or in-service diagnosis. What types of evidence can you use to prove this element? For every element, we're going to tell you the types of evidence. For element 1, the in-service event, you can use military medical records. Right? You can use incident reports. You can use police report. For my claim, my condition is a result of a car accident. So I had to get the police report showing that the accident took place. You can get buddy statements as well, lay statements, people saying that I witnessed whatever this event is that caused your injury. So again, types of evidence for element 1, military medical records, incident reports, police reports, buddy statements, right? And other things as well. Hey, whatever you can come up with. But what we're trying to do is prove that this condition that you're filing for was caused by something that happened in the service. All right, that's the first element. Second element, current documented medical diagnosis, right? Current documented medical diagnosis. What type of evidence can prove that you have a current medical diagnosis? Medical records, right? There's only one. But this particular element, only medical records will, no. For most of them, only medical records will suffice. For things like tinnitus, you don't really have to prove, it's subjective. You don't necessarily have to prove it. So there may be no medical record showing that you have it, right? They test you for it and then you get the compensation. Erectile dysfunction, something that you can't really test for per se. Female sexual arousal disorder, also something that you can't really test for per se, right? But with most of the other ones, all the other ones for the most part, you need a current medical diagnosis. The type of evidence to satisfy that second element would be medical records, all right? So what's that third element? We got the first element is the in-service event or diagnosis. That second element is the current medical diagnosis. That third element is the nexus. You'll hear this a lot. The nexus, which just means link. I don't know why they call it a nexus. It's intentionally confusing, some would say, right? Some would say. But what that means is you have to prove that it's a chronic condition. That is something that you've been suffering from the time you separated till now. That's what the nexus is. It links the in-service event to the current diagnosis because it shows that you've been dealing with it since separation. That's all. It's a link. That's what it means. Types of evidence to prove that would be medical records showing that you've been going to the doctor since you separated. Get those records, send them up with the claim. If you haven't been going to the doctor, like me, you could use lay statements, right? Personal statements of your own saying, hey, this is what happened. Lay statements as well from other people saying, hey, I witnessed this person have these symptoms, right? We have a lay statement generator on the site. You can get in the description also. Nexus letter as well. This is a very popular one. A letter from a doctor saying, I reviewed the medical records. I've been dealing with this patient since they separated service. And in my medical opinion, I believe this condition was caused by something that happened in the service. All right, so you got that nexus letter, you got medical records, and you have statements, right? Buddy statements, nexus letter statements, personal statements as well. You saying, hey, this is what I've been dealing with. I mean, if you have something like for migraines, this is a common one. If you have migraines where you had to call out of work, you can get that documentation. Hey, look, this is, letters from my job saying I've had to call out because of my migraine, right? So all these things just to kind of prove that, again, I've been dealing with this condition since I separated service, and I'm still dealing with it now. All right? So that's what we have to prove. Those are the three elements. In-service event. What type of evidence? Military medical records, incident reports, police reports. Second element, current medical diagnosis. What type of evidence? Medical records. That's it. Third element, nexus link, right? Showing that it's a chronic disability, that you've been suffering from it since you separated up until now. What types of evidence? Medical records, nexus letter, lay statements, buddy statements, personal statements, right? But you're trying to prove again that this is something I've been dealing with since I separated up until now, right? And those are the three elements, huh? Keeping it simple, keeping it useful. As you can see, check the rating schedule. We always recommend check the rating schedule. The rating schedule is like looking at the test, the teacher calling you up, hey, I'm about to email you of exactly how I'm gonna grade the test. If you choose not to use that, that's on you. We always suggest use that rating schedule, and then of course that phrase, more likely than not, right? You can see it right here. More likely than not. When you're talking about a nexus letter, that's the magic phrase in there, all right? So again, foundational, simple, useful information. Again, it could be overwhelming. It could be frustrating. But when you have understanding, you can understand what matters and what doesn't. What's one of the three elements and what's just a distraction. All right? Hey, learn the information, use the information, and if you deem it to be valuable, share the information. Hey, come on now, don't be selfish, Brody, huh? Don't be selfish, Brody.
Do you think the VA claims process can be difficult, stressful, or even chaotic at times? If so, we made the Before You File Guidebook to help you keep your claim simple and organized. The VA claims process can make you feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or even pissed off. So we made the Before You File Microlearning Course to help you feel comfortable and confident when you walk into that office to file your VA claim. Get the products and enjoy the benefits. Now back to the show.